David Lee Roth here with the Trick or Treat bag. You know, Halloween is one of my favorite personal holidays, that and New Year's Eve. That's why we released the new album, new single on New Year's Eve, mostly because I can't ever decide what to wear on Halloween. And speaking of deciding what to wear, looks like we couldn't decide there either. Oh, I know what this is. Can you get that on there? Can you make out what that is? These are pants that were made all from bits and pieces of women's underwear that were thrown on stage during the prior tour. We try and get as close to the heart of the fans or whatever part of their anatomy that we can, preferably as often as we can. You know, look at that there. Look at that. There's a little underwear that didn't make it onto the pants. How about that? Actually, that probably belongs to the makeup lady. Okay. What else do we have here? Reaching into the trick-or-treat bag. You pull it out. Hooters. This is Hooters from Florida, right? Hooters is, are you talking about the club? No, this is just porno. Do you have some pictures of your girlfriend naked? Would you like to buy some? Wise guys, I thought they were with you. The first Van Halen album. I remember this vividly. Look at that. 'Tis far better to fall flat on your face than to die from bending over backwards for somebody, huh? The first Van Halen album, this was shot at the world famous Whiskey A Go-Go here. I mean, we didn't all stand exactly in these positions. You know, there were no ladders, no scaffolding. Each picture was shot and then the guy put it in there. And there was no big sign. That was drawn in there afterwards as well. And it looks like, what do you think? What happened to Alex there? It's like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Can't see his face. And then look at that. What do you think that message is? What's he holding in his hand there? Get out your mind out of the gutter. Okay. Gonna reach in to the little bag. You know, a lot of you can try this at home while I'm doing it. If you don't have a bag, you can reach into your pants. Or maybe if there's more than one of you sitting in your parents' living room right now, then you can reach into each other's pants. Okay, I'm gonna reach into the bag and I'll reach into my pants later after the video. Think of me while I do it. Eat 'em and smile. This is the Uwanpunti tribe, and that's the coconut. That's my coconut head with a crocodile insignia on it here. Eat 'em and smile. Let's put some feathers in our hair and go raid the next village. You know, that's the general tone of what's going on here. This was, well, when I made Crazy from the Heat, that was kind of a left-hand turn. Let's do something with a big band. Let's do something with the brass and whatever. But this is part and parcel of what I'm really about. It's the blues rock. It's raw. It's natural. And it was the first time I made some rock and roll after Van Halen there. Don't you feel like that on a Sunday morning? Take a look there. Don't you feel like? Yeah, that's how I feel too. I think we got one more thing here. Let's see what this is. Oh, wow. Look at this. This is from the Amazon. Can you focus on that? This is the Amazon, the Marcia. We spent about 6 weeks out on this, and we headed up the river. This was at the time of the US Festival, and these fellas from Apple Computer wanted to throw the US Festival, and they were offering us $1 million and a half to play their show, you know, with 400,000 of our closest friends, your average Friday night gig. And I was in the jungle. My manager at the time, you know, had said to me, I told him, hey, no, I'm going to the Amazon. He said, great, just give me a call every few days, you know, whatever. Okay, so we took off for the Amazon. I went with my trusty bodyguard, you know, my best pal in the world, Ed. And, I told Ed we were leaving from Argentina at the end of the South American tour. I said, Ed, we're going to the Amazon. Ed said to me, great, I've always wanted to go to Africa. I knew we were going to have a little trouble on this one, but I didn't realize that something as big as the US Festival and so forth was going to transpire. Ultimately, we came sailing into a tiny little Indian village hamlet called Warini in the middle of nowhere, halfway between Manaus and Iquitos, Peru. This is in the middle of the densest jungle. And all of the natives are coming out and running out of their little huts and so forth, because evidently they had a little shortwave radio in Warrenee. And every day, twice a day, 10 in the morning, 2:30 in the afternoon, all of the Indians would gather around the little shortwave radio, and they would all listen to the weather forecast, because there was nothing else that they could receive. It was an old box, and all they would get is the weather forecast. Easily amused, perhaps, because every day, twice a day, was exactly the same weather forecast. You know, yeah, it's going to rain, then it's going to be really hot as hell, then it'll probably be humid, and then it'll rain. And you know, you can run that backwards. It's the same forecast, you know, same day, week, I don't care, you know. And then one day, lo and behold, after years and years of the same weather forecast, it's going to rain, then it'll be humid, then it'll be really hot as hell. And if you see some white boys with unbelievable haircuts driving by on a boat, have them call home. Okay, I'm paraphrasing, you know. It's hard to translate that exactly into Portuguese, Indian Portuguese. But that is essentially what it was. And they came out and said, hey, yeah. You guys ain't only taking, hey, you got to call home. So we got on the shortwave, and you got to call back into Manaus, you know, which is at the headwaters of the Amazon, which connects to Miami, which is, you know, on and on and on. And the call says, yeah, you know, if you can make it back by next weekend, then we can play the US Festival, and it'll be the Guinness Book of World Records for the most money ever made by an act for one performance. It was, I think, $1.5 million for 1 hour show, something like that. Hey, the guy who said money can't buy you happiness didn't know where to go shopping. So I said, let's get us out of here. We caught ourselves a helicopter from a geology expedition, a German geology expedition. The pilot got on the plane in the middle of a screaming ass rainstorm, windstorm, Amazon, full blast hurricane, pilot's wearing a cowboy hat. Now you know you got trouble. And we start to fly off, and the plane is backfiring and so forth. Anyways, from the time we first got on that plane until the time that we landed in the United States was another 4 days. And we showed up about 2 weeks in advance of the US Festival, and it all came true. Now, you know, people, I talk about, you know, how much we made for the US Festival or this kind of a thing. You know, money can't buy you happiness. You can buy you a helicopter and you can land next to some, perhaps, you know. But it's not a situation that you might think, you know, once you've paid for your lighting and your manager and your staging and the limousines and the crew and on and on and on. The most I had left over after that gig was barely enough for a brand new dual outboard offshore ocean racing yacht.